There you are. Welcome back to another thrilling installment of the most disturbing TikToks on the internet today. Y'all already know what to do. Let's dive straight in. Gateway to Antarctica. What is he talking about?
This guy right here went to the ice wall, I think, y'all. Look, watch this. First off, right here in New Zealand, Christchurch in Antarctica, it's a gateway to one of the main gateways to Antarctica. Are y'all seeing that right there? And look, this guy right here, he passed away heading back from the South Pole. So literally they're saying he went to the South Pole and he passed away on the way back. Why did he pass away on the way back? What's up with that? And what's up with that right there? That's pretty wild, man. Y'all got to admit, that's pretty wild. I mean, look at these old world structures, but I just can't get over this right here. The fact that Christchurch is one of the main gateways to Antarctica. Are you joking? That is so daggum cool right there, man. Hey, look, y'all screenshot this right here, then y'all can read this, man. These dates are very, very strange, if you ask me. Here you go right here. Look, boom. One of the main gateways to Antarctica. Huh. Sure makes you wonder, huh? Now, what was it? In 1955, Christchurch became the base for... What else happened in 1955? This guy right here went to the ice wall, I think, y'all. Look, watch this.
If I'm not mistaken, that's the year NASA got discovered, 1956. Let's type it in. What year did NASA start? 1958, close enough. I feel like they found something and like, look, we gotta assemble something here. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. What's really going on?
We need to chat about this. The world's largest temple was laser scanned to remove the trees, and these things popped up. So nobody knew about them, and nobody is curious about these things. They're not even just at Angkor Wat. There's 2 more of these things found at Priya Khan, which is nearby. They also appear to be by man-made bodies of water. Just to give you a scale of what we're looking at, this is Angkor Wat, biggest temple in the world. This is Mebon. This is the largest man-made moat anywhere. They were clearly good at geometry, but look at when I highlight the lines here. Now, I went to college for computer engineering. I immediately recognized that shape. It could be 2 things, a piezoelectric generator or an acoustic resonator. And a microchip, that makes sense, but this is 2 to 3 football fields long. Piezo generators convert motion to electricity. That conversion is done through materials and geometry. Chip's geometry is not random. You use the laws of nature for efficiency. So the form follows function. Spoon looks the same everywhere on the planet. It's the perfect shape to accomplish the task of getting food into your mouth. So why do our spoons look like their shovels? I've seen these patterns. That's why I look for them. Instead of a separate instruction manual, what if they put that in the design? This perspective wasn't even possible until now, but we're still using the interpretation of hundreds of years ago. That gives us a bunch of shared symbols and a bunch of shared geometry.
This shocking footage was captured by Derry and his partner, the couple behind the YouTube channel Sailing Supernova. Their channel usually offers viewers a taste of the freedom that comes with life at sea, peaceful sunrises over endless water, the rhythm of the waves, and the challenges of navigating the open ocean. But during one late-night crossing between Venezuela and Grenada, they faced something far more terrifying than a storm. It was supposed to be a routine passage. Derry's partner was filming a casual vlog inside the cabin, showing viewers how they had secured their belongings in preparation for rougher waters.
So I've just made my second cup of tea for the night, and I thought I'd show you how much we've cleared up in here. It's amazing. Even though this has been the roughest passage we've ever had, nothing has fallen to the ground, so you'd probably be super proud of us. I'll show you.
The atmosphere was relaxed, calm, familiar, but all of that shattered in seconds. As she panned the camera, an aggressive mechanical roar suddenly filled the air. It was the unmistakable sound of a fast-approaching engine, too loud, too close. Then came the scream, raw panic in her voice as she called for Derry.
Darcy!
What is it, pirates?
Something was very wrong. What followed was chaos.
Engine!
Turn up, turn.
Turn the lights off! Lights off! The nav lights! We got attacked! We have to tap!
The video becomes a blur of darkness, scrambling footsteps, and fear. The camera captured only fragments, but the panic in their voices said it all. When they finally managed to speak again, Derry recounted the moment he realized they were under attack.
Most disturbing camping encounters ever caught on camera.
I figured it was the fastest way to get back to the cockpit. As soon as I came up through the hatch, I could see two people climbing on board on the port side, and the one closest to me had a gun. So I ran up and I grabbed his wrist, like his arm, his wrist area that was holding the gun, and I kind of pulled him up onto the ship. I like helped him up onto the ship because I figured if I were to push him away, then there'd be too much space in between us and he could just.
It was instinct, pure survival. In the struggle that followed, he managed to wrestle the attacker into the water. The weapon slipped from the man's hands and vanished into the sea. But the fight wasn't over.
And then just as soon as he was kind of starting to stand up, I grabbed his neck and I kind of squeezed for everything that I was worth with my left hand. And then very shortly after that, he dropped the gun and fell overboard. And then I kind of took both hands and threw him overboard.
The second intruder had made his way inside and was attacking Derry's partner with a wooden bat. Derry struck back, hitting the man with everything he had. Another splash, another body overboard. They didn't wait to see if the attackers would come back. Scrambling to the controls, they fired up the engines and sped off into the night.
So I just kind of swung as hard as I could with my left hand, and I ended up missing him with my fist, but I hit him with like my wrist area on kind of like the side of his head, like around his ear, neck area. And there was enough force to knock him completely overboard. And then we just ran back towards the cockpit. Yvette started the engines, and we just did our best to get out of there.
Every light on board was switched off. Even their AIS tracker, normally used to broadcast a ship's location for safety, was disabled.
Our engine, the keys are inside, so I ran inside. Darcy took the helm, and then we also remembered we should turn off the lights, so we turned off all our lights. Yes, we put both our engines on full, so we were going quite fast then because we were still sailing as well. And then we tapped, so we changed direction completely, headed kind of as much as we could in the direction of.
Their goal was clear: disappear into the dark before anyone could follow. Calling for help over the radio would have been too risky. Other hostile vessels could be listening. So instead, they reached out to a trusted friend in Grenada using their internet connection. That friend contacted the Coast Guard on their behalf.
We didn't want to use a VHF radio because we figured if there was other vessels around that were kind of in on it, then that would like alert them that the first attack had.
It was a clever move, one that may have saved their lives. They survived, but just barely. Physically, they were bruised, but intact. Emotionally, they were shaken. The ocean, once their sanctuary, had turned into a place of fear. The attack happened fast. Too fast for warnings, too fast for logic. It reminded them, and everyone watching, that not all threats are supernatural. Sometimes the real danger comes in the form of other people, armed and determined. Derry and his partner had faced down something no sailor ever wants to encounter. And thanks to their courage and quick decisions, they lived to tell the tale. But the fear of what could have happened, what almost did, will likely follow them with every wave, every crossing, and every dark night at sea. This shock
That is absolutely disturbing. It makes you want to have one of those Buccaneer swords on deck just in case, you know? Man. Glad they're all right and made it through.
The moon is not land, but a focused electromagnetic energy light with its own phases. It takes place in a semi-etheroid field above because of the electromagnetic energy that comes from below, our level plane. On the face of the moon, we can see the material field that is below, the world that we live in, mirrored, working like a level Earth's selfie. Phenomenon Sun. Sun is an electromagnetic phenomenon and happens in a semi-ethereal field above at around 5,500 kilometers altitude. Its diameter is 51 kilometers. It is made from fluorescence and phosphorized helium, He. It is the pilot source of electromagnetic energy, giving it to the other inert gases below, Ni, R, Kr, Z, Rd, charging them. These charged gases are responsible for the colors of the daylight. Cosmic electromagnetic energy comes from below, black sun, and hits the inner side of our toroidal field. There's a prismatic refraction of this cosmic energy there that separates it to plus and minus, creating the sun and the moon at two moving spots with shape like lenses below where they are focusing.
Fascinating. This is just a theory, of course. Don't believe anything you hear or see on this video is strictly for entertainment purposes only, but it definitely makes you think. You guys already know what time it is. If you thought you weren't going to get another excellent specimen today, think again, bucko! Take a look at this. I already know what I'm calling this. This is a high quality, very gorgeous, perfect Malachite, big slab with beautiful flowers and a strong flash. Very interesting. I was getting more bird wings is what I was getting from it. I want to hear your guys' thoughts on this. Tell me what you would name this. But if I had to name this, I would name it the Emerald Phoenix. Yeah.
The Statue of Liberty could not be put on land according to maritime law. It had to be put in water. So they built harbor of New York and put the Statue of Liberty out there because the law said that they could not put it on land. Why? It's because the statue is called the Statue of Liberty, not the Statue of Freedom. We're not free. Liberty is what a sailor gets when you pull into port. You ask the captain if you can have a little free time, and if he allows you to, most likely he's not, but if he allows you to have some time, then you get liberty. You don't have freedom. So there's a world of difference between being a free American and having liberty. So that's why you couldn't put the Statue of Liberty on our land.
It's not the Statue of Freedom. It's a Statue of Liberty, which is only something that's given to you, permitted when they feel like it.
Exactly. And any government that can give you something can take it away. That's why civil rights, there is no such a thing as a civil right. That's why you have the American Civil Liberties Union, not a civil right, meaning civil comes from government, civility of the government. Well, anytime the government gives you something, the next administration coming in can cancel it. So you don't have any rights. You have a liberty, hopefully.
Hey, y'all remember that McDonald's Monopoly game where, like, if you win, you get cash prizes and all that? It was rigged. You was never going to win. How do I know that? Well, let me introduce you to the man who rigged it. An ex-cop by the name of Uncle Jerry. That's not his real name, but you knew that. His name was Jerome Jacobson, but everybody called him Uncle Jerry. They said, "Hey, yo, Unc." He said, who that?" They said, "Well, we're the Simon Marketing Agency. We heard you used to be police, so we'd like to hire you as our chief of security." You see, the Simon Marketing Agency was in charge of the Monopoly game for McDonald's. So they hired Uncle Jerry as their chief of security so he can guard the winning pieces. And Uncle Jerry was outstanding. He would follow employees to the bathroom, check their shoes, make sure there's no missing winning pieces, check everyone's bag before they went to work. At one point, he would peek over security guards and watch them type in their code like he was just joking. They'd be like, as they type in their code, he'd be like, you fired? You should not let me see that code. And that's when the Simon Marketing Agency and McDonald's had a problem. They began to trust him. They said, Jerry, you take your job seriously. He said, I know. They said, boy, you don't even smile. He said, I know. Jerry goes home. Goes to his brother-in-law. He said, boy, I took one of them winning pieces from McDonald's. Them folk, trust me, I'm going to give it to you. You give me some of the money, and then we good. His brother-in-law said, why can't you just win? Jerry said, because if I win, it's going to be suspicious. His brother-in-law said, oh, you smart, Jerry. Boy, when we get this money, I'm finna tell everybody. Uncle Jerry said, ooh, perhaps I've done too much. Jerry realizes if he keeps giving prizes to people he knows, it's eventually gonna trace back to him. So Uncle Jerry begins to find people he trusts so they can give out the prizes for him. But those people he trusts start giving those prizes to people they know too. In fact, one of Uncle Jerry's middlemen, another dude named Jerry, starts taking the prizes his damn self. His wife said, Jerry, he said, not to be confused with Uncle Jerry. Yes, I'm the middleman, Jerry. She says, you keep getting these prizes from Uncle Jerry and then cashing them out yourself or getting your brother to cash them out. Ain't they gonna catch on to you? He said, nah, man. They caught on. And here's where things start to get wicked. You see, at this point, the scam is huge. Uncle Jerry is passing it along to a bunch of middlemen. Those bunch of middlemen are passing them on to a bunch of other people. It's so big that one of the people talks. They call in the FBI and leave an anonymous tip. McDonald's Monopoly game, a scam. Look into these people. The FBI agent said, who this? They said, you ever heard of an anonymous tip? Hangs up. The FBI does some digging, and lo and behold, all the winners pretty much know each other. They said, oh, McDonald's scamming. They call McDonald's. They said, you scamming. McDonald's said, no. We sell our food at legitimate prices. The FBI said, no, we talking about the Monopoly game. They said, oh. McDonald's said, man, we let the Simon Marketing Agency deal with all that. We just count the racks. FBI agent said, okay, well, it's a lot of money. And McDonald's said, boy, you know who we are? You think we care about some million here, million there? The FBI said, that makes sense. They go over to the Simon Marketing Agency. Simon Marketing Agency said, look, everything we do is legit. This is Uncle Jerry. Uncle Jerry said, what's good? Cool as a fan. Remember, ex-police. He said, let me show you how I do things. Shows them the whole process. They say, that guy good. He don't even smile. He said, So the FBI is stuck. They go back to McDonald's. They say, look, you need to run another game. We gonna catch the winners in the act. McDonald's said, do whatever you want. All we do is talk money. FBI said, bet. This dude named Michael gets a ticket from Uncle Jerry. The FBI said, oh, we gonna deliver that prize personally. They bring a giant check to Michael, all dressed as McDonald's workers. They bring a camera crew, all that. They say, Michael, congratulations. He said, man, y'all didn't have to come all this way. They said, no, we wanted to. He said, bet, appreciate y'all. They put a wiretap on his phone. They leave. He picks up the phone. He said, boy, I can't believe them folk bought it. We scamming. The FBI said, gotcha. The FBI is able to connect all the dots, and they keep hearing one common name, Uncle Jerry. So they bring everyone in, around 50 people, including Uncle Jerry. Uncle Jerry said, Uncle Jerry don't do no talking. Uncle Jerry ex-police. Uncle Jerry gets a lawyer. Uncle Jerry's lawyer does all the talking. He said, first things first, look at Uncle Jerry. Uncle Jerry said, the FBI said, what that mean? Uncle Jerry's lawyer said, the only way you're going to get him to talk is if you give him a deal. The FBI said, Uncle Jerry. Uncle Jerry said, the FBI said, all right. Uncle Jerry tells them the only reason he started scamming in the first place is because remember that company he worked for, Simon Marketing? He said every time they ran the numbers and a winner from Canada would win, they would run the numbers again to ensure people from the USA won, because people from the USA spend more money on fast food. Meaning the Monopoly game from McDonald's was a scam, even without Uncle Jerry. McDonald's comes in and says, objection. It was Simon Marketing. We hired them in order. In fact, we just fired them right now and we suing them. Simon Marketing slides in and says, suing us? We suing you. Wrongful termination. We did our job. We ain't know Uncle Jerry was doing all that. McDonald's said, objection. The judge said, McDonald's, open your ears, not your mouth. Give Simon Marketing $16 million. Shut up. Uncle Jerry, You get 3 years. That's a good amount of information. McDonald said, hold on. You talking about the dude who stole $30 million from us? He only get 3 years? The judge said, well, he didn't technically steal 30 million. He stole about 12 million. The rest of the millions he gave to like other people, and they all free to go too. McDonald said, they gonna run me that. That's my money. They gonna run me that. Judge said, boy, you ain't a gross sister. Put your hand down. But everybody, give McDonald's back their money for real. About $100 a month for the rest of your life, which for all the money they stole and probably stashed away is pretty much nothing. The judge on top of that said, McDonald, this scam ran for 12 years under your watch. People thought they were gonna win. They got scammed. You on trial. This whole fiasco was going to be the worst look for McDonald's. The trial was set to start September 10th, 2001. Everybody was ready for the downfall of McDonald's, and then the next day happened, and something else took over the media. And McDonald's quietly gives away $10 million in prizes to make up for the past 12 years of Jerry taking like $30 million in prizes. As for Jerry retires. People believe he had a secret stack of cash that he saved, and he lived out the rest of his life. Hey, y'all remember that McDonald's Monopoly game where like if you win, you...
How disturbing. I don't even eat fast food no more. But I remember as a kid getting the hash browns, ripping off those things, hoping for a boardwalk or a park place. If we get 2 blues, we're set for life, mama. It ain't never happened. Most I got was a free fry, a free shake, and that was about it. Do you guys know someone that actually won from that? Let me know. Drop it in the comments below. But yeah, your boy don't even eat fast food no more. I lost about 10 pounds, going hard in the gym, man. We got to leave that fast food alone. Cook for yourself. Get your protein in. Get your cardio in. Lift heavy. Y'all know the vibes. Let's get it to the next one.
Okay, friends, here's another one. This one comes from Ybor City, Florida. And if you know anything about Florida, you know they don't have basements. So let's watch the local Ybor City newscast trying to explain to you what you should think they are. And let's play my new favorite game in the comment section before you watch. Is it prohibition tunnels? Is it underground railroad tunnels? Or is it coal chutes? Or something else just as silly? Let's find out.
This week, new construction uncovered one of the coolest things ever. I love this story. Ybor City's secret past. An old tunnel has been uncovered.
Yeah, this is cool. We showed you another section of the tunnel just a few weeks ago, and News Channel 8's Jeff Patterson first went into Ybor's tunnels back in 1994, and he went back underground today.
There's not a lot of places in Florida where you can go underground in a basement, but right now I'm underground in a basement in Florida, and leading back this way, tunnels in the darkness.
Oh, God, it could be anything. I mean, prohibition, there was, any time you want to move anything, I guess just to hide from people, you'd go underground.
Until recently, Casey Corwin owned a building on this property and knew there was a basement.
With a basement in there, I was always down there trying to figure out what was going on.
She sold her building, and new construction uncovered a long hidden section of tunnel.
But the tunnels that I've seen that are here on our property are about 7 feet wide, 7 feet high, and have a flat floor that's dirt.
The discovery of the tunnel is not a surprise to architect Jerry Kurtz. His firm owns a building next door that was once part of the Florida Brewing Company.
This was one of the most historic sites in Hillsborough County, we believe.
Kurtz says the brewery operated even during Prohibition.
Their main client was Cuba.
Kurtz knows there's a basement under his building, and he took me there.
You have to realize in Florida, there aren't a lot of basements, so this is kind of rare.
Kurtz has his own theory about the use of the tunnels because of the location of the brewery.
So if you want to get beer out during Prohibition, an easy way to do that is with tunnels, and several of the tunnels came to our basement.
There are many tunnels in Ybor and many potential uses. I first encountered the tunnels of Ybor in 1994 when we explored under the old Blue Ribbon supermarket and crawled under 7th Avenue.
And then it leads you to a hallway.
So the tunnels that were uncovered this week in Ybor are just part of what is purported to be a network of tunnels under Ybor. Maybe more yet to be uncovered. Jeff Patterson, News Channel.
I'm surprised they didn't discover any catacombs under there. It's been a while since we dove into catacombs. Let's see what we can dig up.
Why are there 6 million bodies beneath the city of Paris? It's because in the 18th century, the graveyards in France were overflowing with bodies, and King Louis XVI needed a plan to organize this. So he arranged the construction of the catacombs. This is a whole second city underneath Paris. It's believed that the catacombs are over 350 kilometers long and are a complex maze of tunnels and corridors. You could imagine that getting lost in here would mean death. And it does. A hotel doorkeeper named Philibert Aspart stumbled into the catacombs and explored them a little bit. But when his single candle went out, he was surrounded by nothing but darkness and bones. His body was found 11.
You didn't have a lighter to relight the candle or anything? A match?
Years later, and he was only identified because of the keys that he carried during his lifetime. There's also this video of a man exploring the catacombs when he suddenly drops his camera and starts sprinting away, which means either he got lost or he wasn't alone down there. Regardless, he was never seen again, and nobody knows what happened to him. And now you know. Why are there 6 million bodies beneath the city?
6 million bodies is absolutely crazy. It almost makes you think, were those the bodies of the last reset?
So, what did they do with the bodies? Where's the remains from the mud flood? Been hesitant to show it, but I've talked about it many times. The extensive catacombs of Paris, over 180 miles that we know of tunnels containing over 6 million remains. And let's see how they are kept. That's right, those are exactly what you think they are. Stacked exactly like that. So apparently this all took place when Paris ran out of room in the cemeteries. So they just piled up all these bones nice and neatly, cleaned them up, and arranged them ever so delicately in a non-sinister, evil type of way. These catacombs in Paris are just one of many spread all over this world that have been uncovered, containing remains just like this. The catacombs in Paris is just one of the largest that we've been told about. And they happily provide tours of, just like all those underground cities that are rediscovered and they give neat little tours of. And ending here in Paris, here's just a few more examples of these catacombs and crypts filled with cleaned remains. Question everything, friends. Until next time.
So I was chasing the pigeons away. With this archway. 1910? 1910. After the bridge was built, why were they just doing this? Why, was it easy to do? What is that over there? I gotta get closer. Big sense. Right by the Citizen Savings Bank. What was going on back here? But listen, you can't forget the lions. It wouldn't be a lie without the lions.
Some people theorize those are the lions of Judah.
And the horses. It was starting to see reoccurring characters, weird face people. Is she giving the middle finger to who? She's cold again. She's cold again. Check out the American Indian Museum. Another cold statue. What does that mean? Is that Kennedy? Make it make sense. What did he see? What did he see? What is this saying? Make it make sense.
Can spirits attach to you? Hashtag energy. What is going on here?
In New York, and as he's floating, is in a bar in New York, and as he's floating through this bar, he sees lots of other folks floating around in this bar also. And one of the patrons gets up from his stool at the bar, and he wobbles around, he falls flat, hits his head, and some of these floaters go in. This was George Ritchie's description of spirit attachment. I prefer the term spirit attachment rather than spirit possession. Possession implies a complete takeover. In some cases, yes, it is a total takeover, and we have to refer to it as possession. But this was Richie's description, where the entity simply came right in. The guy hit his head. The unconsciousness, the blow to the head, allowed the opening, and these floaters came in. If something isn't done with the entities, if indeed entities are real, if the spirits are real, then something has to be done with these attaching entities. They're off course, they're lost. These are the lost souls. I took the guidelines from Wickland's work, his basic approach to entities, which considered that they were people who had lost their bodies. And there they are with their aches and their pains and their ills. They don't feel them until they attach to a body. They are still sad or glad or mad. They're still feeling revenge. But they can't satisfy these needs as long as they're just consciousness floating around. It was at the time of fluffy New Ager, fluffball metaphysics, and it's like everything was love. Well, pretty soon I started finding that it wasn't all love and light. Some of these entities were pretty nasty. They came to cause chaos and destruction and damage of all sorts. And since I didn't know anything, I used everything from every book I ever found. And in fact, what I found then was a little bit of what was described in Wickland's book, a little bit of what was described in some of the Christian books. Different types of entities cause different problems in the human, and they require different treatments for release. The first step in the private session for the person who think they may have something, and in a few minutes I'll have you look inside and ask a question. Hey, is there anybody in there? Sometimes people will volunteer like this, and their other hand comes up. Who did that? Who raised my hand? She says, my mom is, she gets ready to drive away and I just wanted to stay, and she put her arms around her mother. I don't want her to go, I don't want her to go. And I could feel the emotion begin in the child's voice as she described the sensation. I just don't want her to go, I want her to stay. Another technique for past life induction is, say that again, the emotional phrase. Say that phrase again. I just don't want you to go. Mom, I just don't want you to go. I don't want you to go. And at that point she leaned back on the couch. 3 times is all that's required usually to say that emotionally charged phrase. And she's into the...
What is this, Candyman? How many times did you have to say Candyman? 5 times? I don't know.
Past life, where are you? What's happening? What are you experiencing? I'm about 15, and are you male or female? She says, I'm a boy, and my love is walking away from me on this meadow. Well, that sounds like the makings of a good past life story. He's the boy this time, and the girl is walking away. And the young woman had come to tell him, I can't see you again. They loved each other. But the social standards were so strict that the girl adhered to what her parents said. And he was bereft, standing there watching his love walk across this meadow, never to see her again. He could see her across the town square, and he could see her across the church. He never could talk to her. On his deathbed, she came to visit him. She never married. He never married. On his deathbed, she professed her love for him, her lifelong love. She said goodbye, and she turned to leave. And he said, don't go, don't go, don't go yet, don't go. And she walked out the door, and moments later, he expired. He died with that in his heart. What happens next? Well, it's all gray. He's stuck, big time stuck. Skip forward to the next thing that happens. He said, I'm going in a window. That's a pretty powerful one in therapy. Skip forward to the next thing that happens. I'm going in this window and I can smell cookies baking. This little girl sitting on the couch. Oh, he's found his love again. I've learned not to do that. I don't assume anything. I let them tell me, because 99% of the time I'm wrong. Well, I joined this little girl on the couch. Have you known her at other times, other places? Have you known her before? Nope. And I ask that question in a dozen different ways. And what I find is that the spirit attachment about half the time has no prior history, no relationship before, no interaction before. They've never seen each other before, no past lives, no agreement in the light before they came in, a random act. I don't know if this is true or not. Everything I share with you is clinical experience, and certainly not truth, unless it is. But then I wouldn't know it anyway. We work as if it were true, and that's close enough, as close as we can get. Did not know this young girl. Is there anyone else in the house that you do recognize? And he said, yes, her mother who's baking the cookies is my love. He had come back because of his love, but it was to be near the woman, not attached to her, but near her. And this he attempted to accomplish by attaching to her daughter. He's reminded of the time when he died and she left. He was in bed and she died. He died and she left him. Don't go, Mama, don't go. And this is what the child is saying. It's what her love is saying. It's what the man is saying who lost his love so many years ago. Mama, don't go. My love, don't go. And the girl ceased that behavior entirely. It simply stopped happening when we released that entity. is in a bar in New York, and as he's
Sound like he had some type of love curse on him. I rebuke all those things. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Man, that's all we got for today's video. If you made it this far, the code word is Friday Banger. Go ahead and hit your boy with the Friday Banger in the comments below. When you do that, that lets me know you're a real one. You made it all the way through the video, and you just not some troll coming in here. Oh, you talk too much. Oh, play the next video. Oh, that ain't true. Man, that's what we do on these waters. We dive. With that being said, this was the most disturbing videos on the internet today. See you tomorrow.